If our next presentation will be on anthropogenic threats, extractive industries, biotic distress. Our next presenter will be Professor Dr. Prasanthi Gunawardene. She is a professor of environmental economics, Department of Forestry and Environmental Science, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Sri Lanka. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Our expertise on environmental economics, cost-benefit analysis, ecological economics, life cycle analysis, ecosystem accounting, and environmental ethics. She has a huge career on environmental field. I think we will be enriched from our lecture. I'd like to welcome Professor Prasanthi for a lecture. Please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting. And I mean, here it's 7 p.m. in Sri Lanka. And good morning and good afternoon for, I mean, anybody in the other time regions. So let me start my presentation. I hope you can see the presentation.
Yes, we can
okay.
see.
Yeah. So the topic I'm going to handle is anthropogenic threats, extractive industries, and the biotic distress in the mountains. So basically, I will be focusing on the examples around the, I mean, whatever I found around Asia and also mainly from Sri Lanka. So focusing on the different, I mean, given the, you know, the diversity of the topic, I have taken examples as much as possible to explain, and then also I'll be going through what are the solutions or the instruments available in order to handle these problems. So basically, let me start with the importance of the mountain ecosystems. So I mean, we have been listening to many presentations from the beginning. That they provide crucial ecosystem services. Basically, we call these ecosystem services ES to the inhabitants of the mountain ecosystem itself, plus the lowland communities who are living downstream, and overall global population. You know, these mountain ecosystems are, you know, kind of a global. So these may include, like, you know, many people have mentioned this thing in the overall presentations I have been listening to. Some of it, there has been so much benefits coming to the people in terms of raw material, fresh water, recreation, and the climate regulation. So I mean, there can be, the list can be many more when you list it out. But broadly, these are the very crucial services that the mountain ecosystems are providing. So if you look at broadly what are the main anthropogenic threats to the mountain ecosystems, we can recognize mainly the land use changes that are happening. The land use changes are actually due to the infrastructure development. So in many tropical countries, you get this energy infrastructure, major and minor reservoirs established in the mountain ecosystems, and also the agriculture activities where you get favorable climate for crop cultivation. People try to go for these mountain ecosystems. In addition, you have the population growth as a problem, and also the overexploitation as a problem, and also the climate change itself can become a problem. So the broader impacts of the land use changes we can recognize in terms of the alteration of natural biogeochemical cycles, because basically when people do whatever changes to the system, it affects the whole cycle. And also there will be increased soil erosion. Definitely whatever disturbances done into the upper layers, there will be a downstream impact. And also what we are really unaware or we do not know is the changing landscape patterns lead to unknown feedback mechanisms and interactions with the climate change. This can bring about, secondary level impacts. So whatever changes that are happening at the landscape level, ecosystem level, and the landscape level, and can develop secondary level impacts, tertiary level impacts, because the time scale and the spatial scale we are talking about is so huge. Just to show an example from Sri Lankan mountain area, it is the Uma, that is the Uma River upper catchment of the country. So as you can see, the land use is the land use map is showing land use map is showing here. You can see the vegetation cover, and also you can see the subsequent soil erosion map also showing very low soil erosion. But whenever you have this crop cultivation areas colored in yellow color, you can see severe erosion. So this is the clear linkage between the land use and the downstream impact, the soil erosion. And this downstream impacts can lead to so many problems. I mean, apart from the nutrient depletion that are happening, but the eroded soil can lead to various problems, starting from this particular example I'm talking about. This watershed actually supplying water to a hydropower reservoir. So it is the reservoir with the largest or the highest reservoir siltation in the country. So therefore, each year we have to spend huge amount of money in dredging the reservoir. So that will affect the hydropower generation. And if we do not have the hydropower generation, that means we have to generate thermal power, and that thermal power generates additional cost. So like that, the economy-wide impacts we will be feeling due to this problem in the mountain watershed. Okay, so this is something we have to understand the linkages between the particular watershed or the mountain, and then the impacts that are spread all over the country. The proper protection is not happening in this watershed means energy generation or more coal to be imported in the country. So these linkages have to be established and understood. So that's how we should be approaching this problem. Also, I would like to highlight some of the problems that we felt in the country in terms of the handling of the mountain regions for the energy development. So it is the same river I'm focusing here. The Uma Oya means actually the river. So this river is actually planned to be subjected to construct a dam to provide water to the towards the hydropower production and also the irrigation. But actual result of this whole project was because the damming and also some of the tunnel that were made during the project has led to a large amount of water reservoirs leaked due to that tunnel construction. So you can see this entire areas of fertile land were converted into a kind of a very dry area because of this loss of water resource. So the whole stock of water reserves that were stored in the underground we have lost. And you can see the people are protesting against this kind of development. People had to walk long distances to get their water for their bathing and drinking purposes. So that's actually, if you do not carefully look at the ecological and the underlying geological structure, underlying sensitivity of the ecosystem, you may end up in a huge disaster. This is another similar mountain project that was carried out in Sri Lanka. It's called the Broadland Hydropower Project. It is a runoff river project. As you can see, the river is running along this direction originally. The project is actually planning to divert the water through this to the tank, and then through a penstock it will be going through the powerhouse and releasing back to the river. So this means in a runoff river project, you are not having water for this particular stretch. So actually the stretch was publicly used by whitewater rafting activities and a very popular site. So the economic losses of this entire activity has been huge, because I mean, these are kind of recreational activities are not disturbing the nature very much. So the economy and the impacts, economic impacts have been very much. So improper locations, so I'm emphasizing again, improper locations of these mountainous development project can bring about large economic damages. So for example, here I have highlighted the whole project, what are the different types of impacts that were involved, and also the different evaluation methods and the different types of affected groups. You can see the local poor groups are having a significant impact due to the project, and also the global community, regional community are also having different types of impacts. So recognizing this kind of impacts that are going to the different groups is also important when you are developing this kind of when you are making this kind of developments in the mountain region, because equity is one such important criteria of the environmental justice. So when you try to make development for one group, you may be losing rights for some other groups. So this is another similar example in a mountain area in Sri Lanka that is called the Samanalawawa power project that initiated construction in 1986. So when they completed the dam and then they tried to fill the reservoir, there was a water leak in the reservoir. So the water leak means that due to that leak, actually huge amount of money has to be spent in the recovery of the dam, and also they could not still stop the leak. This is actually another issue related to the environmental justice, I may say, because the power project was actually single purpose. The only idea of this whole project was to generate hydropower. But when they were doing that, they had to divert or dam the river by stopping, and that activity has prevented the downstream people getting their agricultural water. So kind of this is some people say that it is a engineering blunder or a blessing, because the leak itself has now provided the farmers with the water. But anyway, the problem here is that the huge amount of money they are spending on the continuous rehabilitation of the tank, the reservoir, and plus the loss of power generation capacity, because originally what they were trying to plan was the 400 something gigawatt hours, but it has been reduced to 70 gigawatt hours. So the planned development will not take place, and it may affect poor communities. So all these impacts have to be carefully analyzed and looked after when we are doing a development project. So that is the key message I wanted to give. And also the project was implemented disregarding the warnings given by the geologist. And another kind of problem that we face in Sri Lanka is this is a recent phenomena, that is the one of the largest dams in our country, Victoria Dam, and this was constructed in somewhere in 1980s. The dam is largest concrete dam in Sri Lanka, and also it is kind of a double curvature arch dam, 122 meters maximum height and 550 meters the crest length. So it has developed a crack somewhere, and there was a small water leak. And also we found some earth tremors recently in the 2020, and also this year also we have felt. And just imagine this huge amount of water that is stored in this reservoir, if it is due to say seismic activity that is induced due to the reservoir itself. If it happens, this whole dam will collapse and the all the downstream areas will be flooded. So we could not imagine such a big disaster, whether it is about to happen. We are monitoring it, but this is another big mistake we have done, like developing or constructing huge reservoirs without proper environmental assessment. I mean, during the time of this reservoir construction, Sri Lanka did not have environmental impact assessment procedure, or that legal procedure was not in place. So that was kind of a big blunder we have done. So the continuing damages we are now, spearing up. So in addition, actually, due to the climate change itself, there can be a lot of impacts to the mountain areas. Some of the previous speakers have also mentioned there can be rising temperatures, and there can be changes of the stream flow. The vegetation may shift, glaciers will melt. I mean, this is some photographs I shown earlier also, and there will be permafrost reductions also. And this is a photograph of a landslide that took place in Sri Lanka, I think about 3-4 years ago. A huge area has been destroyed. The main reason is the very high rainfall fallen within a short period of time, and also the agricultural activities that are unsustainable that has taken place. I think killed nearly 300 people, huge landslide. So, I mean, we can attribute it both to the climate change and also the anthropogenic activities that have led to this kind of a damage. So basically, in summary, we can look at the adverse impact from the anthropogenic threats, degradation of ecosystem components and their values, and also there can be environmental and socio-economic impacts. And the livelihood impacts, economies will be impacted, and also soil erosion and the increased seismic activities. So when we look at the next part of the topic, which is the extractive industries, this is again another various, leading to various different types of impacts. I saw in the literature that natural resource extraction is considered to be a kind of a violence, because Keachel, this lady, in her chapter on the built environment, says, in a seemingly paradox, construction involves destruction, not only of raw material stocks, but often the local economies excluded from benefit, or the socio-spatial fabric of neighborhoods and of construction workers themselves. So you can see, in the name of construction, actually what we are doing is a destruction. And also the pace and the nature of the extraction has also accelerated and broadened. So we can see that these are aided by the technological development. There are legal and illegal capital that are supporting, and the geopolitical national decision making are also supporting this. So this is a global phenomenon, and it has gone to every corner of the globe, the extraction of resources. So when you look at the extractive industries, they actually give rise to a lot of disturbances. So these disturbances we can recognize from the very dramatic or the direct effect to the slow and the hidden problems or the impacts. And one of the problems we can identify is the social suppression of the local environmental and the labor activities in the rural and urban sites of extraction, because people usually go against this extraction, and then there's a lot of suppression that are happening. And also, in relation to any kind of extractive industry, there is always an infrastructural development, and the extraction is usually hidden inside this infrastructure development. Not only that, if you think about eco-friendly activities like the geoengineering in the name of carbon mitigation, people are talking about mitigating carbon through kind of sending this carbon dioxide in the fixed form into the ground and then a lot of other geoengineering aspects related to carbon mitigation. Again, these are disturbing the earth and its structure. So, that's why I said this, the violence is quite visible due to the securitization of the extractive enclaves, but also there can be a symbolic and the structural violence that are happening with the governance, economics, and the governmentality of the extraction. So this is a kind of a social phenomena. We need to go into the details, which is not recognized by many. We only think about the environmental impacts mainly. So let us look at what are the impacts of extractive industries in the mountains. So few case studies I wanted to highlight. So the mining for rare earth minerals have caused the river courses to change, and heavy metals and chemicals used in processing to leach into drinking water and aquifers. So, I mean, this is a one major problem, that heavy metals and chemicals coming from the processing will be leached into the water bodies. And we know definitely these heavy metals are going to cause problems to the human health, animals, and the ecosystems. And also we are, due to these kind of extractive industries, we are continuously opening up sensitive biodiversity and human population to the industrial development. You know, unknown diseases might come and unknown damages to the ecosystems may happen. We may not know actually the real cause. So, I mean, as I told you earlier, the extractive activities will also involve construction of supporting infrastructure. There will be roads, pipelines, hydroelectric dams, pylons, and the cable networks, ports, storage facilities. So, I mean, the extractive industry means construction of all these and also the impacts related to all of these. So these are few photographs from Sri Lanka that how the extraction activities are happening. You know, construction material, the metal and the gravel and a lot of aggregates are being harvested. You can see the surrounding areas are, you know, destroyed, the vegetation and everything. So no, you know, kind of rehabilitation is really happening. And also quite popular in Sri Lanka's mountain areas. These are kind of the typical structure of a gem mining structure, that they make a pit, quite a large one. But once they finish this mining activity, they abandon the gem pit. And, you know, these can become a very good breeding habitat for the mosquitoes, mainly the malaria mosquitoes. So there was a calculation that was done in annual health damage cost of spreading the malaria from the gem mining pits in Sri Lanka is about 2 million every year. So this is a serious threat to the mountain areas and also to the human health. So let us also look at why these mining activities are vulnerable, because high altitude soils, they are usually shallow and then fragile, and they are actually very sensitive to the environmental changes. And the peatlands, actually, it's one of the acts that one of the material that act as a reservoir of organic matter. So this peat actually can be considered as a pollutant sponge. You know, it can accumulate contaminants inside it. But the thing we need to understand is, I mean, in the literature it is highlighted, you know, very important parameter, but what we need to understand is, if this capacity of the sponging or the absorbing pollutant is exceeded, it may lead to serious contamination of the surrounding environment. So these capacities we need to understand properly. And also there can be landscape changes due to mining, because the quarries and the dumping areas, you know, basically the quarry is the area where you mine, and then the dumps are the areas where you know, kind of dump out whatever you do not need. So to get 1 ton of useful product, it is required to extract more and more tons of ore. So because the richest ores have already been extracted. So up to 400 kilogram of waste dumps are produced per 1 ton of concentrate. So you can see the seriousness of the problem. So therefore, the tailing dams are the result. Mining also lead to pollution of the natural landscape. So if you look at the hazardous consequences of these pollution things, because the mining and metallurgical waste can lead to the deformation of the components of the natural environment. So actually, this can, as I told you earlier, that little known diseases can be the ultimate result. And also there was an interesting paper that the air pollution causing landslide in China. So this is an interesting case study. The acid rain that was fallen on a mountain with the calcareous mountain, and it has, you know, dissolved this whole structure of the calcareous area, the carbonate material, and that led to the whole landslide in the region. So you can see these in kind of interconnections we need to understand properly. And also the groundwater recharge to the river with the heavy metal transportation in mountain area in southern China. So they have actually recognized various heavy metals have been flushed into the downstream areas due to this pollution issues. I mean, basically coming from the mining sites. So the mountain mining has led to a lot of water pollution. In Thailand also similar problems have been recognized in relation to air pollution. So during the mining, in relation to the mining areas, there's a huge pollution that are happening. So let me go into the last part of my presentation. What are the things we can do? What are the tools available? I mean, there are policy tools or the regulations, economic instruments are there. There can be regional planning tools like the strategic environmental assessments, which can identify impacts along the spatial and the temporal scales. And also we can use the economic values to illustrate the damage cost of the mountain degradation. And also we can calculate and observe the carrying capacity, whether they are being maintained. And the sustainability rules we can also observe. So let me give you a very quick overview of what are the tools we can think about. One thing is the declaration of the protected areas to ensure their ecosystem services, and also the use of the economic values to illustrate the damage cost of the mountain degradation. So I'm just highlighting due to the road development, what are the carbon cost that has resulted in a Sri Lankan project, Central Expressway, which is going through actually the mountain regions, and also the lost home gardens and their products coming to about 300 something billion. And I mean, this has not included any kind of species losses. And also in mountainous areas, we apply a lot of pesticides. So this means if you can tax the pesticide applications. So this is a simple example in Sri Lanka, that how much of revenue that you can collect from that kind of a taxing. And also finally, the economic values you can use to illustrate the unrecognized values. So including the montane forest, mountain forest in Sri Lanka. So these are some of the values which can be incorporated into the national accounts, so that policymakers or the decision makers can think about, you know, preserving some of these important habitats for their regulatory provisioning and the cultural services. And thank you very much. I think I have not taken more time. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Shanti. You have awared us about the human activities in mountain region, how they can make us disasters happen due to human activities, and extractive industries and different biotic distresses are happened due to human activities, due to land use change and different activities.